Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Vishal Gyali from Queen's University, Kingston, Canada. Today, I want to discuss about a certain trend in the FDA drug approvals, something that I refer to as premature regular approval. Now, I want to discuss this in terms of breast cancer approvals. Um, Now, what do I mean by premature regular approval is that the FDA has two pathways for providing drug approvals. One is the accelerated approval pathway, and the other is the regular approval pathway. Regular approval pathway is when there is certainty of clinical benefit, when there is no doubt about clinical benefit in terms of improved survival and quality of life, and the FDA provides full approval. Accelerated approval is on the basis of surrogate endpoints when there is still uncertainty in clinical benefit. So they provide accelerated approval. And accelerated approval comes with a safety net filter that there is a mandate for the company to run a confirmatory trial and prove clinical benefit, after which the accelerated approval can be converted to regular approval. If the company fails to do it, like fails to do the trial or does the trial and the trial does not show clinical benefit, then the approval will be withdrawn. However, what we have seen recently is that the FDA is offering regular approval on the basis of surrogate endpoints. One of the examples of accelerated approval that was withdrawn is bevacizumab in breast cancer. Bevacizumab got early accelerated approval because it improved progression-free survival in metastatic breast cancer, HER2 negative. But because it was accelerated approval, they did a confirmatory study for overall survival, and overall survival did not improve, and bevacizumab's approval was withdrawn. But contrast that with everolimus. Everolimus improved PFS in hormone receptor positive breast cancer, and the FDA gave upfront regular approval, which I refer to as premature regular approval. Did not wait for the OS, when in fact previous experience was that in breast cancer PFS may not translate to OS, and that's why bevacizumab got revoked. Alpelisib in PI3 kinase positive metastatic breast cancer got upfront regular approval based on PFS. There are several other examples. Margetuximab in HER2 positive breast cancer received upfront regular approval. And in all these cases, when overall survival results were published, the overall survival was negative. The overall survival did not improve. But because they were not accelerated approval, the FDA cannot revoke their approval. They are regular approvals. They are complete approvals. There is no safety net of withdrawing the approval. And in all these cases, the time gap between getting PFS results and OS results is not substantial. It's less than 2 years. It's sometimes less than a year in most of these breast cancer examples. Less than a year in some cases, less than 2 years in almost all cases. So it's not like we had to wait for overall survival forever. And again, I'm not saying that these drugs should not have been approved at all. What I'm saying is the FDA created a pathway called accelerated approval pathway for this reason. Why are they not using it? If they had given accelerated approval instead of regular approval, then the confirmatory trial results, these overall survival results would have importance, and the FDA can take action on the overall survival results. But because it was not accelerated approval and was complete full regular approval, the FDA cannot do anything, even if the OS turns out to be negative. I understand the difference between no approval and approval, because patients want access to the drug, so you can't wait for overall survival forever, or all these logics. But what's the logic for giving regular approval instead of accelerated approval based on surrogate? This is what I call premature regular approval. Because even if the FDA gives accelerated approval, the drug will be in the market. People who want to use it can use it. Medicare will pay for it. It's not like the payment structure is different for accelerated versus regular approval. So what's the motivation? What's the logic for the regulator to provide upfront premature regular approval? All these drugs are based on surrogates should have received accelerated approval first, and regular approval once the survival results were announced. Margetuximab, you would be surprised. It got approval based on a PFS difference, and that PFS difference is so minimal. The PFS difference is very, very minimal. I think it's just a month or so PFS difference. And within less than a year, they announced the results of overall survival, which was negative, which was not significant. If margetuximab had received accelerated approval, I'm pretty confident that it would have been pulled off from the market. But because the FDA hastened the process and gave upfront premature regular approval, they can't pull it off the market. So this is a phenomenon I refer to as premature regular approval. And I think we all need to be cautious because the accelerated approval pathway exists for a reason. And why is it not being used? This is a question that we need to ask, because from physician's perspective, from patient's perspective, there is absolutely no problem with accessing the drug. If the drug receives accelerated approval, there is no need for us to say we need regular approval upfront. But by bypassing accelerated approval pathway and providing regular approval upfront, there will be no safety net of confirmatory trial. Thank you.